Hi guys, this is Dima, the tutor. In this video, let's practice together on the section of Duolingo speaking. This question is called, some people call it interview read. Well, I think it doesn't matter much how we call it. What matters is what we should do here. Yeah, we should just speak, answer the question in, let's say, 90 seconds. Of course, they claim that you can speak for at least 30 seconds. However, I highly encourage you to speak for really 90 seconds, or at least 80 with something, yeah, that you wind up just at the end of the time span. You know, Duolingo encourages you to speak a lot. You have short time for your answers. So to shorten it even further, I don't think it will bring you something beneficial. That's why try to be abundant. Try to be eloquent and even probably a bit redundant. So I mean that if you have to talk about your favorite restaurant, please really talk 90 seconds about your favorite restaurant. There are a lot of psychological, let's call them tricks and features involved here. I have tutored people for, I have been doing this for a lot of years, and the topic at IELTS speaking part 2 is just the replica of this one. But at IELTS you have to speak for, like, say, 10 minutes max, or 2 minutes maximum, yeah? And here for 1.5, this is the only difference. At IELTS you also have the topic, the prompt, and then 3 blueprints, 3 bullet points, yes? 3 or 4, doesn't matter. So, but the approach is the same. You have to present the beauty of your spoken English language and the richness of it and the variety and everything. To do this, you have to speak a lot. Try at least to produce a lot of sentences. Try to be enthusiastic. Try to be alive. So you remember, please, that speaking is not writing, is the first one. So you're welcome to use some redundant language, something like actually, well, oh, and one more thing that I'm afraid to forget, like something like that. So otherwise, your speaking will become very rigid and tense. It's not a bad idea without those actually, However, if to be honest, they say that how does he or she communicate? Let's imagine a scene where you are positioned in some cafe, yes, and with your friend, educated friend, mind you, not just a drunk, I don't know, gangster. Just an educated person, and you have a conversation, and he or she asks you to describe your favorite restaurant. I don't know why you have mentioned it, but so imagine how you would speak about this. How? You would not speak like a robot, because it's not a military cross questionnaire or something like that. You would use a lot of those, yeah, good question, yes. So you're welcome to do like that here, but don't overdo it, otherwise you will eat a lot of seconds with these redundant phrases and you will not get to the point. However, remember that you don't have to be very tense. That's the first message. The second message is your abundance and proliferancy. I don't know how to express that. So try to speak a lot. Yes. Then about these bullet points, try to stick to them. So if they ask you, please don't be naughty. Yeah, be patient. So if they ask you about them, please try to highlight them. However, if you are excited, which will be most probably the case, you may forget to speak about one of them. I think it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. However, if you can, try not to disregard them, like not to discard 2 out of 3. Otherwise, it will sound weird. Probably the system will think that you don't know some of the words in these questions. You see, so you can add some your blueprints. You're welcome to do that. For instance, what type of food does it serve? Okay. How often do you go there? Why is it a fair? What type of music do they play there? How many guys work there? What type of, the cuisine they have already mentioned. The distance from your home. You see, so other points you're welcome to add them. Okay, what else? What else? You have to practice. You see, you have to practice answering sometimes silly questions. Talk about your favorite restaurant is an old, beaten, shabby question from all tests of English. But sometimes you can face such a question that your brain will protest. It will say, wow, Why do they ask such naive, primitive, silly questions? I will tell you why. Because this is a test of your English, standardized test. And they cannot provide, they cannot come up every time with a unique, interesting, captivating question for you. You understand that there are millions of candidates, so you have to produce something regular and universal for everybody. That's why the questions may sometimes be like boring for you and senseless, something like that. Okay, guys, so let's practice. I tell you honestly, today my head is not very focused and I'm absent-minded. However, it's very good, because if I were very ideal, too ideal, yeah, it would just embarrass you and you would say, oh my God, I will never speak like that and I will never get a normal score at Duolingo. However, I have tutored a lot of guys to this, and I know that I speak better than a lot of them, and a lot of them get 120 and more. So we can just draw such a preliminary conclusion that I would also score 120 or more at my Duolingo production, which is very good. We don't have to have 150. Yes. So I will now speak for about 90 seconds, and honestly, I never prepare my speeches beforehand. So probably I will stumble upon something and mumble, and however, I'm sure I will get through. So I will click retry to reset the timer. Okay, let's speak about the restaurant. Okay, speaking about my favorite restaurant, I cannot help mentioning one small but very intimate, very cozy restaurant located probably a couple of kilometers from my home. That's why I love taking a walk there, not using a car or a bicycle and stuff like that. So the size of it, speaking, probably, I don't know, 100 square meters, so not much. There are only several tables. But about the food, mostly they serve national food there. But honestly, to me personally, it's not about the food, it's about the atmosphere. I go there probably 2 times a week because I love having my coffee there and listening to marvelous music. They play mostly smooth jazz. It helps me to relax. It helps me to work at my laptop, with my laptop if I want, or just to attune my mind to something beautiful and perfect. So in this way, I think this restaurant is mostly an exception from the general rule, because mostly, those restaurants are crowded and noisy places where there are a lot of people chattering with each other, those big men crying loudly all over the restaurant. But this one is very quiet. That's why I love it. The staff is mostly friendly. Yes, I love it also. They know me already. And so mostly I drink coffee there and eat muffins or croissants. I don't order some salads or meat. That's why I don't even know exactly what type of food they serve, but let it be. The cuisine doesn't interest me. Okay, you see, my time has finished. So I have talked something, you see. I have mentioned all 3 points, you see. Really, I'm not a specialist in food and I could create, of course, you understand that they serve mostly Chinese or Japanese cuisine or something like that. Yes, it's not a big deal. If you wish, you can do like that. Those sushi and whatever for the reasonable price and everything like that. But I wanted to speak about coffee and jazz. It's my choice. I have not deviated greatly. You always have some, as they say, leeway here. You see, leeway means that the freedom to speak about a little bit, to deviate, to go astray from your main topic. It's okay, but not too much. You understand that if you don't mention food at all, it's not a good sign. But I have mentioned. Okay, think please how you would answer this question. So let's choose the next one. I don't even know what the next one will be. Okay, talk about working on a team. What are the advantages? Yes, you remember that you have about 20 seconds to look at this beauty and to grab yourself together. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Do you enjoy working on a team? So such a childish question. Advantages, disadvantages, enjoy working. Mostly from my experience, I recommend you to be positive, positive. It's not a good idea to be negative. People don't like negativity, even if they don't notice it. Even, I suppose, algorithms, they don't like negativity. So try to be positive. Even if you prefer working alone. I would speak about that you love working on a team because of cross-cultural, multicultural environment, sharing experiences, all that jazz. They ask you a typical question, you give them a typical answer. for a typical good score. If you want to be creative, yeah, very nice, you can get a very high score, but then you run the risk of losing your thread or just confuse yourself. But, you know, just this question allows us to speak about, for example, if you hate working on a team, you can say that mostly I'm such a lonely eagle out there, so I hate working on a team because the disadvantages, they outweigh by far the advantages. I think it's okay, but why should you speak about something negative, yeah? Okay, let's speak about it now. I will click retry. Okay, working on a team is an essential part of success nowadays. And not only nowadays, I think it was the same thing 100 years ago, 500 years ago. People interact with each other like those ants, and if we want to succeed, if we want to build our brilliant career, we have to communicate and collaborate with other guys. So just working on a team, it's inevitable. But I love it, you know. Anyway, the advantages of working on a team are that you inevitably share experiences with the guys from different countries. It's marvelous. It's just, you know, the mentalities something are different. Let's say if you take the guys from the United States or Japan or Ukraine or something, they are different, and it's marvelous. You conceive of the entirety and beauty of this world. Speaking about the disadvantages, you know, sometimes those cultural differences may get on your nerves, of course, because you understand that what is appreciated and revered in one culture can be highly disregarded and even cursed in another culture. However, you know, I don't think that you will come up and you will encounter such an extreme case in your career that you will work and at the next table there will be a guy whom you will hate. So do I enjoy working on a team? Yes, of course. I have always enjoyed working on a team. And the concept of leadership, it can be manifested only provided when you work on a team. Otherwise, how can you like become a leader by yourself? Yes, but if you want to lead others and present some value to the team, you have to collaborate with other people. Okay, something like that. You see, 90 seconds have elapsed. Something like that. Honestly speaking, at the end, I confused myself a bit. I don't know why, but you see, I have answered all those three questions. I forgot to provide an example. You're welcome to provide an example. You can create this example on the go. For instance, 1 year ago, so I was working on a project with a team, let's say, I don't know, let's say from India, and I loved that cultural atmosphere. I loved communicating with those guys. For instance, I loved the brilliance of their minds and some traditions we were discussing. I even, they treated me with I mean, dishes from their cuisines, and it was just amazing, something like that. Okay, let's take one more and wind up for today. So what do we have here? Discuss beliefs about luck. Or you see a more philosophic one. Do you believe certain numbers are lucky or unlucky? Do you have any objects that you carry for good luck? Are there any traditions in your country related to luck? So when you see such question, in 5 seconds, you try please to again define your point, your standpoint, whether you believe in lucky numbers and all the jazz, those amulets, and sometimes I forget those special terms, but let it be, or you don't. I think you have here the freedom to choose either this or that. For instance, I will speak about that I don't believe, because I will speak about the power of our minds, that we create our destiny and something like that. I love this topic, so I will speak about this. However, if you believe in luck, if you have all those superstitions, of course you're welcome to speak about them. Not a big deal. The system doesn't care. Remember, try to be positive. Even if you don't believe in luck, try to be positive. You see, try to be assertive. Yes. Okay, guys, so let's. I'm just speaking off the top of my head. I don't plan. I don't even strain myself. I mean, okay, let's try. So speaking about beliefs about luck, I would like to say that I think that at this point of my life, I have come up to such a place in such a period that I don't believe in those superstitions and those amulets and those cherished objects. I'm deeply convinced that we create our own destiny. Yep, we do it in collaboration with other people and other concepts, other entities. However, our thoughts, our vibrations, emotions, they form our reality. So that's why for me, it doesn't matter whether I meet the number of 6 or 7 or 5 or something like that. Numerology probably is a science for someone, but not for me. Objects carrying for good luck? No, no, no. You know, I have a lot of other objects, including keys, smartphones, and maybe notebooks and so. So if I start carrying some other objects for good luck, my pockets will bulge, and they will hang. So I don't like this idea. Traditions in my country. Oh, there are a lot of traditions. Traditions, beliefs, fears, and everything. It's impossible to discuss them within just these 20 seconds. But, I'm not interested in them, actually. There are a lot of beliefs and those even negative, silly superstitions. For instance, if you see a person who is crossing your way with an empty bucket or something that brings bad luck, I don't know where this idiocy comes from, but probably people like to create something that will occupy and preoccupy their minds for some time. They want entertainment even in this sphere, in this philosophical sphere. Oh, you see, yeah, my time has elapsed, so very nice. I have talked about something. Um, Let me repeat myself. I wasn't preparing it. I wasn't. Yeah, it's not so easy maybe for me to speak English fast, probably, as well as for most of you, especially if you're asked for some test. Yeah, one thing is when you communicate with a friend in some friendly atmosphere. You have no risk. And the other thing is that you're at this point of your life, your career depends on the success of this test. Yeah, so you have to focus. So the stakes are high. Of course, you will be excited, but remember that positive excitement to a normal degree is very beneficial for your performance. Some additional adrenaline goes to your blood, your brain processes are triggered and advanced and everything. So it's very nice. The excess of adrenaline, it paralyzes you. So you should train, probably with your tutor, how to psychologically set up your mind for intense performance, but not that paralyzed performance. Okay, guys, if you need some professional assistance for preparation to Duolingo, IELTS, and TOEFL, you're welcome to address me. All the details are in the description to this video. I wish you success at Duolingo and see you in our next video.